As you drive around the Delmarva countryside, you see a lot of tractors this time of year, and some of them you may notice look pretty old.
Well, an old tractor, like an old horse, has a lot of stories to tell, and Charlie has one in tonight's Travels.
I was out shooting one afternoon when I heard something that sounded like a locomotive. It turned out to be an old Allis Chambers tractor still on the job after decades of service. The young lady at the wheel hadn't planned to appear on television that day, but she told me that when it was new, her father, Levin Darby, had driven it to Washington, D.C. for one of the great Washington Tractorcades of the late 1970s. Now, it's been 40 years since the first waves of tractors roared into the nation's capital, hoping to change national farm policy. What were they trying to accomplish? I asked my friend Roger Richardson what the Tractorcade was all about.
Draw attention to the problems that farmers were having. There was a lot of farmers that went bankrupt at that time, and trying to draw attention to that to help alert the public that, hey, if you want to eat, you got to have a farmer.
Were they successful in getting that message across to the public?
Somewhat at that time, but today it's history, and nobody pays much attention to history anymore.
You know, a tractor's just a jumble of iron and steel and oil and rubber. That doesn't mean that jumble can't hold its head up a little bit higher, remembering the day it went to Washington, D.C. In Worcester County, this is Charles Paparella for WBOC News.
And here's a story worth noting. During one of those protests, the Washington, D.C. area received 2 feet of snow. Well, the farmers took their tractors and cleared the downtown streets and carried emergency personnel back and forth to work, just as you'd expect farmers to do.